this how you get your sick kicks?
What? It's just an ordinary crabby. Oh my goodness!
Squidward!
Out of all the football games, Thursday Night Football kind of feels like the redheaded stepchild of the group. Like Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football just feel like they make sense. Like Sunday Night Football is the game that counts out the Sunday slate of games. It's like the nice cherry on top of the Sunday. You know, you had all these football games and one last one for the night. And Monday Night Football makes sense as well. It's like, all right, here's one last game for the road to before you start your hellish school or work week. And just a reminder, hey, we'll be back here next Sunday. Meanwhile, Thursday Night Football just kind of like shoehorned in the middle of the week. Like, even playing on a Thursday sounds weird. Like, why would you play football on a Thursday?
Money.
Oh yeah, right. But as a consumer, it is more exciting to get more of something. Like, oh, I don't have to wait till Sunday for a game. I'm getting a game middle of the week. It's kind of like the car ride home where you're like super hungry and you just have a little snack, you know, to kind of tide you over. You're on your way home and you just got something from McDonald's or something and you just taking a couple fries out the bag kind of thing. However, does it matter if you get more of something if it's not good? Like, say you go to a vending machine, you put in your money and 2 chips fall out instead of 1. One of the chips is the flavor you like, but then the second chip is some god-forsaken flavor, and it's like, I got 2 chips, but do I even want the second bag of chips? And I don't know if there's just me, but I feel like there's been a sentiment that Thursday Night Football has been bad or boring over the last few years. Like, I'm not sure if this is just some anecdotal thing, but I feel like I found myself relating to that sentiment as well. Like, I remember it being Thursday. I feel like watching a game, like Thursday Night Football, I feel like I watched a game that ended like 9-3, or before Thursday Night Football game started. You know, I'll ask my mom, he's like, hey, are you watching Thursday Night Football tonight? And then she would look at me and then she would pull up the team. She's like, yeah, I don't know. And I was like, yeah, I know, right? And she said, yeah, it feels like the teams that play usually suck. One of my friends, when I asked him what he thought of Thursday Night Football, he said them Thursday night games were always duds for some reason. And when Amazon took over, they were just bad. So, yeah. However, I want to put this to the test. In this video, I will somewhat thoroughly look over the Thursday Night Football games and see if they're truly as bad or mid as their reputation, or if we're actually overlooking some diamonds in the rough here. It's good to open the season with 2 good teams and match them up and make it a marquee matchup for your first game, especially after months and weeks have gone by without football, and it's 2 teams that are playoff contenders and you can see them like clashing and having a good match. And this game did not disappoint. It went right down to the wire with the Chiefs winning after likely just stepping out of bounds on the game-tying touchdown that would have sent the game into overtime.
Where was the pain, Jameis?
Yeah, just pain. It was pain everywhere. So we got to keep on pushing.
I would have loved to see this go into overtime, especially to see if B Moore would be able to complete a comeback. But nevertheless, great game, great start to the season. In week 2, we pretty much got a reverse Uno card, and the game was pretty much just the Bills smacking the Dolphins the whole time. But yeah, just the overall route here. 3 picks from Tua turned the ball over. Just a bit of a letdown as someone who is not a fan base of either of these 2 teams and just expecting just a fun matchup. I think going into the season with this matchup, I think the NFL did a fine job with matchmaking in this game. You could definitely argue that the Bills are a better team for sure, but I think you could anticipate at least a more back and forth contest in this one. And hey, sometimes that happens. Sometimes you schedule 2 good teams and you expect like a back and forth battle, and for some reason it just doesn't turn out that way. You know, one team just has the other team's number that day and just wipes them out of the water for some reason. But I wonder if I could remember a game recently where you expected two teams to, you know, kind of go back and forth, but the other one just kind of like wiped the other one. I don't know. I can't really think of a team that did that. This game is even worse. A bad Jets team just blowing out even worse rebuilding Patriots team. To me, the matchup isn't even interesting. Just skip this one unless you're a Jets fan and you just want the double mean hit. Okay, so the score for this game isn't too bad. You know, it wasn't a blowout, and the Giants only lost by 5 points. However, all the Giants did in this game was kick godforsaken field goals all game. But guess what? That was enough for them to keep pace with the Cowboys for pretty much the whole game. Like, even though they were kicking field goals, Giants could have still feasibly won the game. But, I mean, Dallas still pulled out and was largely a snooze fest to me. But, hey, Greg Joseph, I hope you got a pay raise from this one. You were the MVP of the game.
This on the five time.
Okay, this is what we needed after 3 straight duds of football and not a good matchup since week 1. I know Kirk Cousins just kind of turned into a turnover bakery towards the end of the season, but in this game, this man was in God mode. 506 passing yards? That's insane. I mean, this game had it all. High scoring. Not saying you need to have a shootout to have a lit game, but it certainly helps. A last-second field goal to send the game into overtime, and the team that forces overtime scoring a long touchdown play out of nowhere to win the game.
Mooney moving. That's fired. That's caught. And that is Hodge. And Hodge is going to take it to the end
zone. Definitely a great watch if you watched it live. Great game. This game was fine. Not a blowout, but a comfortable win for the Niners. Pretty much a classic case of a team that is scoring, but they just can't keep pace with the other team. You know, it was okay. Yo, impromptu post editing Tice here. Apparently, I skipped over week 7, and that was the Broncos versus the Saints. But luckily, there wasn't really much to talk about there. The Saints just kind of got stomped out by the Broncos. So, yeah, the game was boring. It was like 33-10 or something. So, yeah, just putting that in here. Thank you.
Evangelos.
This game was actually chill as well. Decent amount of scoring throughout from 2 solid regular season teams, with the Rams having the more offensive juice in the second half than Minnesota. Not a shootout bonanza, but still enough to keep you entertained and watching for a night of football. So now the Jets make their second appearance on Thursday Night Football, and I can at least say it was better than the first. I remember the Texans were on a struggle bus this game. The O-line was cooked. I feel like CJ didn't really have time to throw, or it felt like when he did throw, nobody could get open. First half was boring as hell because it was only 7-0, but then the Jets started scoring a little bit in the fourth. Also not a bad score line, but I'm going to give the game a meh. Shout out the Jets, though. They are 2-0 in Thursday Night Football, and the crazy thing is they only had 5 wins by the end of the season. So, like, what was it? 40% of their wins came from Thursday Night Football. Just a little mini tangent on the Jets, though. I mean, what a season. Like, firing Salah early in the season, then bringing Adams to kind of re-spark the Green Bay duo. But it just didn't work. Hopefully they could get a fresh start next season. And I don't know, maybe something interesting could happen with Fields as their starting QB. Maybe, maybe not. But yeah, for this game, I'll go meh. But if you want to go bad for this game, I don't blame you.
Yes. 20.
Now this is some good old AFC North beef. Great matchup. Game was decided by a single point. Just a slugfest going back and forth. Lamar and Burrow both had 4 passing touchdowns. Lamar just short over 300 yards and Burrow threw over 400 yards. Jamar Chase had 264 yards and he had 3 of Burrow's 4 touchdown passes that he threw. But the game does draw to a dramatic close as the Bengals opt to go for the 2-point conversion and go for the win instead of trying for overtime. Personally, even though I really like overtime, I don't get mad at teams for going for the win at the end of the game. I respect the gumption and live and die by the sword, and that is personally why I really like Dan Campbell as a coach, as we'll touch on him a bit later. And of course, don't get me wrong, there's a fine line between, having the courage and just foolishly going for every 4th down. But that's a story for a different time. Overall, great game, definitely worth the watch. So, my birds smack the commies. No, just kidding. But as an Eagles fan, I'm going to be strictly biased in this analysis for a quick second. Okay, so this game was kind of pissing me off because this year we had a bad habit of starting out slow offensively, and this game was no different. But snapping back to just being a regular NFL fan and watching the game, both teams had a few missed opportunities in the first half, and then, the second half is where it got interesting, with the scoring from my glorious squat king, Saquon Barkley. But yeah, not that much to say. It was a chill game. But if you would like a comedic take on the game, expressed in the form of memes, oh, what's that right there? But yeah, game started out shaky overall, but it was alright. It was a decent watch. Now, who doesn't love a good snow game? And I don't mean the type of snow games where teams can't do anything but run the ball, but one where it's enough to make it fun and teams can still feasibly pass. So the Browns were pretty much in control of the entire game until the 4th quarter. Then the Steelers scored, and then the Browns immediately gave the ball up. Then the Steelers scored again.
Just got circled. They double team him. Wilson to the end zone again. Can he hold it in?
And then all of a sudden, they were losing the game with 6 minutes to go. Then famous Jameis turns the ball over again, and the game should be over. But this ain't your mama's NFL. The Steelers barely take any time off the clock and give it right back to Cleveland before the 2-minute warning. What? I remember this was kind of funny too because my mom's a Steelers fan, and I remember she was kind of crashing out, and it was funny. And lo and behold, the Browns take the lead back with 57 seconds left and win the game, bro. What? Wacky ass 4th quarter antics is what made this game a fun watch if you stuck with it. If you were just kind of watching the first 3 quarters, it's kind of whatever. But if you stuck around with the 4th quarter, that's what made the game. So yeah, good game in my opinion. Now, I know this game isn't technically Thursday Night Football because it came on in the afternoon, but I'm having fun here, and the ending to this game was too wild just not to talk about it, to be honest. Also, I don't want to jinx it, but it's been since week 7 that there's been a game where I was not worth the watch at all, just skip it. So Thursday Night Football kind of on a roll here just a little bit. And this game continues that positive trend with a surprisingly close NFC North matchup. So this is the Thanksgiving matchup, and the game is going how you really expect. The top tier Lions squad are really just smacking the Bears on both ends of the ball. But suddenly the Bears channel in their inner Mighty Ducks and just start coming back. The game progresses, and now the Bears are now only down a field goal with 2 timeouts left and a chance to pull off a huge comeback upset, or at least tie the game and force it into overtime. But then Matt Eberflus proceeds to display perhaps the worst time management I have ever seen in my years of watching football. It's damn near up there. Okay, so Caleb gets sacked, right? The clock is still running. Them boys do not call a timeout. They didn't even spike it. They end up wasting the entire clock and losing the game. Didn't get a field goal off or nothing.
No one touched it. And down goes Williams. To Darius Smith.
This is supposed to be a quarterback draw. They have a light box.
15 seconds and it's 3rd and 26. They got 1 timeout left. It's like the light box. Could have got numbers, but just in a better hurry. Oh, this is a disaster in the making here. We're going to have to do something when it comes down to this play.
Like, bro, you cannot make this up. Between being a Bears and Bulls fan, or are the Blackhawks good? I don't know. Between just being a Chicago sports fan, I don't know how y'all handle it. I'd be crashing out every week. I am a Bulls fan, by the way, so I might make a video about them when the season ends. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, all that to say, inspiring comeback, baffling and frustrating ending to a game. However, still a good game and vastly entertaining. Cowboys and Giants 2, Electric Boogaloo. But in this case, the sequel is actually better than the original. Giants actually scored touchdowns in this game and kept decent pace with Dallas like they did last time, and it was fine. Overall, okay game. And to round out the Thursday night slate, this game was also kind of okay. The Dolphins were really just getting smacked around again until the second half, and then they started scoring a bit. With Tua missing a lot of games due to his concussion issues, the Dolphins had lost a lot, and they had to play catch-up with their record. And unfortunately, part of that road of playing catch-up was against a lot better Packers team who had their starting quarterback for most. But yeah, not necessarily a bad game, but you could definitely skip it. The first game, the Lions game, was definitely the best in the Thanksgiving triple header. So once again, the Lions do not disappoint in a slugfest with their NFC North rivals. This year, the NFC North was actually pretty stacked in the regular season, with the Lions, Packers, and Vikings all having good records this year. The Vikings looked rough at the end, but nevertheless, they had a good regular season performance. And I told you we were going to talk about Dan Campbell before, and now we're getting to it. Dan Campbell, the cojones, the gall of this man. So he's in field goal range, could easily take the field goal and just take the lead. But nope, he wants to go for it and potentially squander the game and lose. But they convert, run down more clock, and get a chip shot game winner and win the game.
They are going. And then Goff falls down, but Montgomery is able to pick up the first down. So Goff falls down as he makes ball game. And what a game.
But yeah, great game. Another good watch. Another good divisional battle. Well, guys, you know what they say. All good things must come to an end. Even the Undertaker streak was broken, and so has the good to okay, decent game streak of Thursday Night Football. Yeah, score was 12-6, snooze fest, all field goals. This is the equivalent of going to the grocery store and picking the most bland flavorless cereal they have in stock. And that's pretty much it. But luckily, we are back, baby. 2 teams with playoff aspirations and in the same division, duking it out, having a battle. In this one, the Broncos maintain a lead for much of the game until the Chargers take the lead early in the fourth quarter, plus a nice little cool 2-point conversion. But in the end, Chargers hold on to win. Solid game to watch. Same thing I said about Rams and Niners, just double it.
Bran Flakes. Bold new taste. Bran Flake.
Well, after 17 painstaking weeks of analyzing Thursday Night Football, is it bad? Honestly, no. To me, Thursday Night Football is kind of like sports as a whole. You got some good games, you got some okay games, you have some bad games, but you also have some great games. And I think this sentiment also expressed what some of my other friends said about Thursday Night Football games. One of them said, I think it just depends on the teams, to be honest. I just think if it's primetime football, it should be primetime teams that get to play. He even goes on to mention that for Sunday, it's endless games. Even if his bad team is playing, he can just find another game. Thursday night, it's only one game that's on. And if it's the Bears versus the Giants or something like that, it is very much boring. My other friend, he said, yeah, I think it was just the roster of Thursday night games this year that happened to be bad teams. But overall, he likes Thursday night football. Even when asking my girlfriend about Thursday night football, I asked her, will you usually check it out, or is it kind of like a mixed bag to you? And then she said it's kind of both. Like if it's her team or my team playing, or like an interesting team playing, she'll lock in. I asked my mom, does she think Thursday night football is boring? She says somewhat, and she says she feels lackluster teams tend to play on Thursday night football. And after finishing this, I think I do relate to what they were saying. I feel it's more of a mixed bag. It kind of depends on the teams that are playing, and sometimes you get somewhere in the middle between there. But overall, at least for this season, I would say that the good outweighed the bad, and overall it was at least okay/above average, and we'll see if Thursday night football gets better as the years progress. And clearly, Thursday night football is here to stay. It's not going anywhere, as evidenced by the NFL's deal with Amazon Prime to showcase their Thursday night games on their platform. Now, would I get Prime to watch it? No, unless you're a super fan that tunes in for every game, or already have a Prime subscription because you're watching other shows on there, then sure, knock yourself out. Now, unless, NFL Prime, you want to give me some type of sponsorship, then yeah, let's talk. Maybe I'll change my mind. Let's talk, about Thursday Night Football. By the way, my team won the Super Bowl. Go Birds. 2-time Super Bowl champs. You know what I'm saying?